we're going to walk to the back of the cemetery and see the original grave of Edgar Allan Poe. You want to see that?
Yep.
This way.
There it is.
We are standing before the original grave of Edgar Allan Poe. Poe died in 1849 under mysterious circumstances. At last count, there are over 22 different theories surrounding Poe's death, and each year there's a new one, just as stupid, just as silly as the previous one. But briefly, Poe died in Baltimore by coincidence. He was passing through Baltimore at the time of his death. He was going from Richmond to Philadelphia, Philadelphia to New York, stopped off in Baltimore to catch the train, and disappeared for several days. During those several days, we have no idea what happened to him, but he was found in an area of town noted for its rough bars. They found him in this delirious condition, wearing someone else's clothing that didn't fit, mismatched, soiled, and he was incoherent. Now, at that time, there was an election in progress, and many people think that he was a victim of political cooping. That is, the politicians who would hire the police or thugs, they would go out and kidnap people and coop them up in the basement of the building, and they would give you drugged alcohol and use you as a repeat voter. And to confuse the election judge, you would change the person's clothing, and that way the election judge could say, I never saw that guy before, yeah, he can vote, realizing that he was already voted 10, 15 different times. And when you were so doped up that you couldn't even put an X to vote, they would dump you out on the street. Like I said, when they found Poe wearing different clothing, incoherent, so many people think that he was a victim of cooping. Now, unfortunately, the shade is covering the lettering, but this stone indicates where Poe used to be buried. Poe's grandfather is in this direction, his grandmother is here, and his brother Henry is in this direction. So from 1849 until 1875 is when his body was here. They moved his body from this location to the monument up front, simply to put him in a more prominent spot in the graveyard because of tourism. So they put this here to indicate the original grave. Many people read this, but they don't actually read it. They say, oh, I thought Poe died, was born, and they look at these without reading the fine print,
yes,
where it tells you clearly that this is where he used to be. So, it's missing its beak.
The beak is gone.
A tourist broke it off.
Oh, for fun.
Back in '76.
To take that back, to put in that Poe shrine.
I guess. There are people that do that.
Oh my goodness. Makes me
So,
wanna cry.
this is Poe's original grave.
Wow.
Behind me is the second grave of Edgar Allan Poe. That was put here in 1875 by contributions from Baltimore school children. They had a Pennies for Poe collection to help pay for this monument. So there were hundreds of people here in the dedication, including Walt Whitman, the famous American poet. So he was here. So this is where Poe is actually buried now. And in 1885, they brought Virginia's remains from New York, and she's actually buried to the left of the monument under the light that you see over there. Maria Clem is buried to the right of the monument. She died 1871. So there are three bodies in this plot: Virginia, Edgar, and Maria Clem. Since they were a tight family when they were alive, the Poe Society thought this is where they all should be buried, and this is where they are now.